and wage gains are slowing. Are we in a hiring recession?
No, I don't think so. I think that basically the number was about what the market expected. It was a number that was less than 100, which is a little bit lower than you'd like. But then after that, we got the consumer price index numbers, which were really amazing. And so if you look at the 3-month moving average of core consumer prices, then they're running at an annual rate of about 1.6%, way below the Fed's target. And my old friend all the way back to grad school, Austin Goolsbee, is now one of the Fed governors voting on interest rates, conceded that they should have cut rates faster and that he's going to do so in the future because of this inflation number.
Well, he was one of the dissenters when the Fed's decision
Correct.
came out. But when it comes to inflation, as you just referred to, that number showed there was still a rise in inflation. It was just at a slower pace than expected. If you pull out energy and pull out food, it rose at the slowest pace since 2021, up 2.6% in November from a year ago. But then there are quirks in here because it looks like the prices weren't gathered until Thanksgiving. Discounts kicked in. There was no increase reflected in terms of housing costs. Why do you trust the data now when you haven't in the past?
Oh, I think that you're right to always be suspicious about data, and it'll look a lot cleaner when we get a full survey, which we didn't have this time. But, 2 of the 3 numbers, if we go back to the 3-month moving average, were fine. And so I think that the error band around the 1.6% inflation, about that's the pace it's running, is probably pretty tight. Surely there'll be some revisions, but I think the numbers are about right. And I usually, Margaret, don't like to go to year over year when we're talking about what's going on with inflation, because that includes a lot of high inflation Biden months in the back, and fewer and fewer as we get further into the year. But I think that the trajectory right now is best seen by the 3-month moving average, and that's below 2, below the Fed target. So it means the Fed, as Austin Goolsbee said, has plenty of room to cut rates.
But the president said inflation has stopped. You'd acknowledge that's an exaggeration.
Well, I guess the inflation being above the target has stopped for sure, and so, but inflation is not zero. Also, that's fair.
Okay, he did not give those caveats. He just said inflation has stopped.